you know, I think it's proving that you kind of do need to have both players, at least till like the 8th zone, to kind of really stand a chance, I think, personally. But still, I'm feeling good. I think all of our teams we predicted are there or thereabouts in the kind of top 10. So there's 3 games to go. Anything's possible, but I'm feeling confident. Let's see how MDF and SPG are feeling as well as we head into Game 3. It's looking very, very exciting over here. How about you guys? How's it for you?
Hey, we're just warming up. Things are just getting started. We're approaching the halfway mark here at SPG, but the few prestigious games are starting to run thin now.
Oh yeah, this has been a great start, but ultimately it's like 2 tournaments in one, because you get those victory royales and then you also get the placement, the consistency. So it's multiple stories that we're watching here, and we've seen Beef and Nick really strive and make it to these end games, and I want to see them take that next step, or you know, they could just be our beautiful story for the day, consistently making those end games and run away with that leaderboard.
Definitely. And remember, one thing to really think about, guys, is teams start to win, they are no longer allowed to participate in the next queue. So these are drop spots that get to open up.
Yeah, they definitely are. But hey, somebody was already landing with Tail and Pledge. Creo and Vert were trying to play there. They wanted that drop spot, and apparently people were going after Agers and Rise down at Greasy at their drop spot. So I mean, everyone's thinking that same thing. Great minds think alike, Monster.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate seeing Rise get taken out there inside Greasy. Teams rotating a little bit quicker than he might have anticipated, but maybe even landed on him. We didn't get the full story there in the early game. So hopefully our observers can go ahead and check in with Agers and Rise. Just see, you know, what's going on down there. Has someone decided to kind of invade the space here, or was it just a missed timing for them down there? But either way, Agers and Rise, surely a team that can, you know, pop off now, right? When they were contested, they were still pulling top 10s, still being very much competitive in the overarching scheme of things. Now that they're, you know, their team, right? The team that they were going head-to-head, Nounzy Inspired no longer there, they still have a shot to qual. It's almost the same like we saw with between Macwin and Donnie, Bucky and Cam, right? These are teams that had everything in their power to qual over at the Bugle, but they all pushed through to finals. So now it's the same problem. It's if anything, it's even bigger problem. They have a drop spot that's highly contested, and teams are landing there. So we'll see how it all unfolds. The story's just beginning here. Game number 3 is underway.
Game number 3, and we will see where we're going to wind up and who winds up taking this one home. We've seen some contests happen here at Covert, and that's where we're going once again. These players are trying to decide who gets what piece of this and who gets to push somebody off. It seems like nobody's changed their mind thus far. Princess Wolf doesn't get any shots, a little too timid, doesn't pull the trigger quick enough to get any shots done, and now we'll see where AMT and Princess Wolf go. They've typically rotated out of here. It does look like 20 and Co are still fighting up at that northwest corner on the map. Interesting that you've decided, I guess now 7-8 games, they've decided to fight for, I think it's 8 chests.
Yeah, trying to battle it out here. Not much, but a little something here. On over to Cracked and Owl, whom we've had seen some small successes, but this time here stuck at 10 points right now in the competition. Contested over at the Chonker Speedway. In the feed there, Serbsky goes down to static, so other small fights unfolding on the map. Owl's gonna get taken out there before he even gets touched down by Cooped and Posed. We're up in top 16 at the current moment with 30 points. Much better positioning in the over say of the story here, but hold up. Post comes on down. They find themselves a little llama. Okay, so now things are looking up for them.
Yeah, coming out of Chonkers with a llama, you're already gonna get a ton of chug splashes, but now getting those chili chugs. But we're tuned into Kondo. Looks like Zuck has taken down HD. Him and Freeze went off spawn once again. So this is now just rolling off spawn. At this point, I mean, you almost welcome the contest. If you're just winning every time, it's free points, it's free surge, and free shield.
And it's keeping them competitive on the standings now. That's an extra 6. Now, you know, closing things in. Stronghold on that 4th place position. On the other side, a team that needs a lot more. They want to jump up to that top position. Those big spots here, Mega and Dubs. Contested up against Larson and Smite. All of which you have had exceptional couple of rounds this last few days. Mega, same story like before. Okay, so he gets high ground. It's pretty clear that they know how to play up. This is what game 1 looked like.
shifted into creative mode here with that little crank, and now everyone's going right back down. Larson taking a big amount of damage there from Mega, but now he's in the box, has the control. He goes down. They're getting third-partied, and Dubs is able to get Larson. This is similar to what we saw in Game 1. Another team inviting themselves into this fight. Dubs not able to do enough to take down both players, and he might be able to get Mega here. This is a really good breaking line of sight to be able to try and get this. Ooh, oh, no, it's not going to work.
Nope, here comes the shots. They end up finding them. It's Unrealiana and Bank who rotate in. They don't even have any points here, so they're just desperate to try to find these rotates here, get some elims, and Dubs could not clutch up, unfortunately, there. Lets his guard down. Oh, no, actually, wait. That was just Mega's down by. Okay, Dubs gave up Mega. He goes for the trade, gets inside the shifty shafts. So Bank and Unrealiana, so it makes sense. You know, they actually were the ones who got the knock there. You can see the elim come through. So they wanted to come in, get the full finish. They might be thinking, though, they do have a decision to make. Do we risk it all and get inside this base here? They find Smite. So now they're probably really feeling it like, hey, it's a 2v1. We got these extra mats, little weapon upgrades. There's more confidence here, if anything, than there was before now.
And hopefully that doesn't give them a false sense of security, because they just knocked and finished a player, then they got a full finish. So they're probably thinking, all right, hey, that was a full duo, and now we're chilling. We're just going to farm our metal. But Dubs is lurking, and he's going to want to grab that reboot card. I don't know if Dubs is going to be bold enough to make a play there. We're tuning in with Agers and Rise here, who had some struggles at this part of the game in the last match. Seem to be doing all right. As far as I can tell, there's nobody in the surrounding area, and they're going to be able just to, for once, take a deep breath, grab their loot, farm up, and put themselves in a good position.
And this is the time you want to do it. Game 3. Things are getting, getting into the deep end at this point now. All right, you got to learn how to swim at this point. Otherwise, you'll find yourself sinking to the bottom here. For Nosh, Goofy, they're up there. They're swimming. They're doing pretty great, if I say so myself. 72 points in the competition here, leading the pack right now. Amongst the Wolves, Rokane and Joji. Different story for them. Not as good as they'd like. That last game pretty rough. Big clutches, but was it Joji, right? Joji got caught on the rotate there, slammed out.
Someone grabbed his doubles above him. Just quickly clean that up. Some SMG spray. You walk through a box that's not yours, you're gonna wind up paying for it, and that's what happened. Now we see Creo and Vert. They have their POI all to themselves, with Pledge and Teo winning that one, and we see much better position. You don't have to fight off spawn. You don't have to put yourself in a stalemate trying to figure out who gets to play that POI. Now they're even grabbing a solid mountain or hill to go get some surge tags, but it's looking like somebody else wants a piece of that, and that's Clarity and Slacks.
It's a great shot here as well, just to kind of sum up what's about to go down. Two teams, right? Really sizing each other up here, both building out of wood, so that's an offensive stance. If you really think about it, like, hey man, what's up? What do you want to do? Move in quick.
We ain't planning to stay here too long, so I don't want to spend any hard mats.
Over to Blaze here. Look at this. They jump in. They find Dubs. Dubs is just trying to hang out, right? He was low key. He's been here for a while, but this zone is right on top of Shifty. I mean, this is going to be the next hot spot players start to move through.
Yeah, and it was right after the reboot happened. Rarely do you see a successful reboot where a player is able to come back, get enough to make themselves kind of legitimate within the lobby, you know, because until you get a decent bit of mats, some heals, and a loadout, if you're kind of just a player running around, you're not necessarily a legitimate threat to anyone. But now we're seeing another fight happening here. We saw Smite fighting earlier on. Chubbs and Twix were on the opposite side of that this time, and now it looks like Sparebow and K-Burbs getting themselves involved with this duo.
Yeah, and it's a little more center here as well, so we're gonna have some time to fight this one out comfortably. It's Sparebow and K-Burbs on the other side of the wall. Chubbs and Twix right now, feeling things out. They kind of sneak their way around. A lot of these builds are actually there, surprisingly, but Chubbs, the fatal error, unfortunately could not hit the shot. And that's the shot you need to make. That's the shot that'll determine the battle for you. Missing that, and now all of a sudden, look at this. They're at a huge disadvantage here. Shots coming in from all around. 3 times up.
too many people too. Like, they're right in the middle of the lobby right now. Everyone's gonna be seeing this, especially as they keep going up. And Sparrow and K-Burbs are playing this well. They're like, hey, we'll just chill down here below in the builds. We don't need to get involved in cranking up and up and up. We'll take the damage. You guys can come right back down to us, and we'll relax here because they're the ones hitting their shots every single time. They drop them in. There's one big piece. Twix is weak. K-Burbs is also weak. Sparrow's trying to help, but he's getting held out. Can K-Burbs do enough? Yes, there's some shots there. 1 HP on K-Burbs. Sparrow trying to help his teammate, but right now he's unable to do anything.
Look at that. He's going to swing his swing around the side here. I can't believe K-Burb's still standing here, guys. 10 HP in the small dream. And all of a sudden, Sparrow and K-Burbs do enough to just fend them off for a little bit here. SMG shots coming through. They're trying to see if they can rip through these builds, find any kind of cheeky tags right now to turn this battle back around. But Chubbs and Twix getting shot from another team, too. That's that same one that was off in the distance. And look at this. They're going to reveal themselves. These are white tags. I don't think Sparrowbows gives this one away. Nope. Someone else managed to snipe it up. It's actually Ritual on the other side, but Nevify as well here gets one. So they end up actually getting both of the elims from long range right there. I mean, that's 6 points that Sparrowbow and K-Burb could have surely used right now. It's looking like it's going to have to come down to a victory royale for Sparrowbow and K-Burb.
Definitely is going to, and we saw them in the last match of Game 5 yesterday. They were in the position. They just ran out of material slightly too soon, and Peterbot put on a show. But ultimately, they've been going for the wins. They're not simply just trying to play for that consistency. So already in the bag, they got a plan, I would assume. Now we're seeing all these players. It's that Storm Surge tag phase where everyone's hanging out in their box. They're like, all right, you're opening your window, I'll take a shot at you. You're rotating, I'll take a shot at you. And they're just throwing shots around, letting everybody get a tag. Now we see Nosh and Goofy Goober, though, trying to find some plays here on the backside, rotating late.
Yeah, these vending machines definitely come in handy. You can find yourself the ammunition, maybe some minis as well. So quick check there. But they're outside the storm line right now. That's going to give any other team much more confidence. Shots coming in. These vehicles are really, really exposed. The window's completely wide open, so this is a tough spot to be in now. Another machine here. Okay, things settle down, so the opponents are going to back off. You know, a little reset right now, right? For Nosh and Goober, they have a lot on the line right here. They are currently leading this tournament. So, you know, in their mind, maybe they're taking a different approach. Maybe like, hey, listen, let's slow down. Let's just get some points. But we've seen teams that mix up their playstyles actually be the, you know, to the detriment, right, of their overall game. You don't want to play too slow.
Yeah, and you got to feel comfortable with the amount of points you have. That's probably why they were chilling behind in the storm. They were just waiting, letting people get their fights, their rotates done. They're like, we'll take whatever's left. We're already doing well. We just need to make it in. Now, here's another team that needs to have a big match here, and Agers and Rise. High expectations leading into this tournament. These guys have underperformed based on expectations. Also have not got enough Storm Surge monster. These guys are struggling once again. The rotate isn't good enough, but uh-oh. Are we about to see a pre-edit play?
Yeah, definitely. You saw right there. He set it up. There goes the walls. They're looking to take them all the way through, but no. Did not aim at the right box. That's what happens here. Now team's starting to opt to shoot inwards. This is all they want, though. All they want is real tags here, so big exchanges there. Not enough yet. Just barely. 18 above. With that fall off damage, that's all they can do at this point for body tags. This one's in reciprocal. Get a moment to breathe here. Agers and Rizo, no more excuses now. Completely free on their drop spot. Greasy Grove is theirs. They managed to get out.
And Agers and Rise seem to be in a better position. They're finding enough tags. They're finding enough players to shoot at. And worst case scenario, if you go down below, you're jumping on the players below you. This is the first time they've even had the possibility to do that. Otherwise, it's just been, I'm running for my life. I'm trying just to stay in this match. And it's a much different position once you've fully farmed up. You're actually in zone and now just looking for Storm Surge tags and able to get more than enough. I mean, we've seen Agers hit 200 plus damage, but now we're seeing Riv trying to sneak on, you know, a little crouching, going in behind these guys, but nothing gonna happen, nothing gonna come out of that. And it sounds like someone just got cracked, so that's a big sound cue to tell you it's time to jump on somebody.
Yeah, look at this. Dayfan aim in onto Noisy here, who's also below the Surge. The clock's ticking at this point, man. Everyone's really starting to get active here. The Surge is already lighting things up. 1 HP onto Noisy as the tag comes in. Look, he's just you know, blowing him, and it's over. He's gonna have to get that slash in, and he does right in time. He almost thought about mining there. You saw that, right? You saw that, SVG. He switched to it. He said, oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
No. Splash. That was almost wraps. Okay.
That's those quick moves that save you, you know? But I don't think it's going to save him for too long. Somebody else is coming in.
Yeah, his teammate's down. These are big tags. That's going to put him up above. A little too late. A little too late for that play right there.
Glace and Chucky looking to clean this up. They already just took down the last place curse, so they got to know Noisy's a solo somewhere. Noisy's got to get out of this area because Chase, Glace, and Chucky, I almost just threw their names together. But Rise and Agers now in their own little engagement going on here, and somebody's knocked in those boxes. Looks like that's Freeze. He's going to go down. Low control from up top there by Zuck, and pushing out Rise and Agers for the time being. Agers able to grab the body, get all that loot, and that's all they wanted. They're good now. You guys enjoy your fight. We're out.
Massive refresher, and that's the same team that was just down there. They've been looking to take this fight for quite some time here. 20 actually still up as well. He's going to find statics there, so look at this. Now we have three different duos sitting on top of one another here. So these are teams that converged on in, try to get a piece of this fight. I mean, you know, Agers and Rise welcomed this with open arms. They weren't looking too hot before. You saw them 18 damage above the surge threshold. So for them to actually find these clean elims and then pick up the loot is massive for them, considering they didn't really have much just moments ago. We're talking like the difference in 30 seconds, how your tournament can all of a sudden swing in such a positive direction. So now that they have their bearings and the tags, can they do enough to make it to endgame? Here's a quick look at Tyler and Riv Natra on the other side. Tilted Towers, my gosh, there's so many teams here. Surge coming in, it's hot. Being below, though, forces them into other battles.
And they are just trying to find Surge like everybody else. These are all Surge fights. You know, typically they happen whether you want them to or not. We see Noisy able to get that one right when he was able to switch to that Chug Splash. Just keep him alive, like you so perfectly pointed out. And now we're into this mid-game area where a lot of players trying to claim their space. We'll see a lot of infighting between players that are next to one another. And one of the teams not even in the zone yet are Edgy and Tahi. Again, struggling in this early to mid-game. They haven't been getting the surge. They've made it past third zone, but that's about all I can say right now.
Yeah, this is one of our, you know, S-tier players as far as individual performances go. Man, Edgy's got a resume like none other, as does Tahi. They've been here before. No strangers to high-tier competition. Some of our most experience that we have in this space, but 13 points in a tournament like this, in a customs tournament, is not what you expect of someone like Edgy.
Definitely not, but they are one of those teams where at any moment they can win a game. You know, like at any moment it's one game and that's all they need.
And from Vila, first time we see him get up on a drop here. This is right inside the zone, fourth zone, aiming dead center. Little piece of high ground terrain in play here, but for the most part, it's all vanilla. It's open field. Grasslands here to play with. Knifer and crew, remember, you get that guaranteed launch pad, so this is going to be really big for them. Fresh heals
picking that
well.
up. Picking that up is massive after even getting that llama too. So they have the chili chug splash, they have that movement plus the pad. I would expect them to play for height once again. We see Zaka, and he was also able to grab a llama at some point. He's not in as good of a position as Vila and Knifer, though, because he's a solo. He's got very little builds. He's getting chased down here on the backside of Storm. It's only a matter of time unless he could do something special here. And he's just trying to stay up, trying to look for some angles, but it's only a matter of time. He's not got enough to do it. Wall to wall, the shot misses.
Hello?
Oh, Zuck, hit some shots. You might have it here. These guys giving him way too much opportunity.
Yeah, everyone's nervous. That's what that looked like for a second there. They were right next to one another. Zuck didn't even fire. I don't think he realized that he got fired at first. Edgy finds himself a knock onto Pamstu in the feed there. That's actually huge for them. Definitely needed it. There goes the finish. Play catches Fatch too, so okay. It had to be a lobby focus, judging by where they were positioned before. Take a look at this. They run into the loot here. Not much yielded from it though. As you can tell, barely any metal and brick onto Edgy here, so it cost them a fair amount of material just to try to secure this, and there was nothing on the bodies of Pamsto and Fatch here. On the other side, Nosh just gets picked up here, so Goofy trying to hold on. 80 points right now, so they actually overtake our #1 seeded team now. We have a new leader in the space here.
And they're looking good. 80 points already out of 3 games. That was beautiful by them, and we'll check out exactly what happened with these eliminations and how these players were able to take all those out. We see Tahi getting chopped out from the bottom here, but not before Wrigley gets dropped into him. He'll take that. I mean, any day you get a body dropped right in you, free refresh. Hello, it's Christmas all over again.
Yeah, and a launch pad. That's very, very crucial to this whole story here. That's a win condition. They're in the end game. They pull half in, half out. You know, are the lucky stars aligning now? You have to ask yourself that question. I think for Knifer and Bila as well. Multiple launch pads potentially coming into this late half. They weren't too far off as well from this zone. They were dead center. So they had should have had a pretty decent time making it on in. Here's my pick. Quad Magnolia right now.
And most players
their way on up.
Most players were in this zone. They were able to make these rotates fairly easily, but it's going to be so many players fighting for such little space within this zone as everyone falls within this 5th zone, and we can see exactly how many players are just piled up on top of one another. Creo and Vert, Agers and Rise able to make it in. Yuz and Okius are still alive, so a lot of our top contenders still in this, and it looks like Quad Magnolia trying to find some shots here, looking for plays. Now, just making a little rotate, back, checking out what's going on. They're in a good spot. Tahi's picking up another elimination there. Looks like Lava Boy and Shark Girl are going to go down, but Tahi's going to pay for that by getting knocked himself. And Edgy and Tahi are just both eliminated. They're gone.
To the hands of Chucky and Glace there. They had everything. We just talked about that win condition, but now it exchanges hands into Glace and Chucky. That's a big for them, especially since they've been actually on fire this round already. Chucky and Glace knocking out a couple other big competitors too just a bit ago. So things are heating up. Keep them in mind as another team enters into the fray. These win conditions are the ones you really have to look out for. That is what matters right now. Knifer and Bila still in play. Nosh and Goofy here looking to size things up. Fable, Taco, and Jackson aiming for the height here. They're in 6th place so far. I'm feeling like they're getting their confidence rolling here as we still have Agers and Rise finally in an endgame. We have not seen them make it this far yet today.
Looking healthy too. This is the best position they've been in thus far. I mean, we've seen them take these high ground positions in 7th, 8th zone and try and go for the win. Right now, it's going to be 20 and reciprocal trying to play for it. Knifer and Bila looking to play a little bit different of a position this game. They're going for that low ground, not wanting to go and jump on high. Brocane, Joji picking up a couple of elims there. Bila and Knifer trying to get that double piece, get these guys off their bottom layer, and they've now been cut off. Gonna have to rotate in a different position, wait to see where zone goes. We got a couple of seconds here, Monster, and see till we see where the rotate's coming from.
I'm loving this slow play that we're watching right now. A lot of teams recognize, like, hey, listen, I don't actually have to play for height just yet. There's a lot of teams in motion right now. Let's just go ahead and, wait it out. Bide our time, and look at this. Nosh is going to find themselves a nice pickup right there alongside Goofy. Goofy, there goes the full finish as well. Couldn't pick up the loot, so out comes the rotate instead. 4 elims for them. The builds get broken that they were going to connect to. And all of a sudden, high ground 20 way up top with reciprocal, and they're doing that good old-fashioned wide split there. And look at how they have so much commanding presence over the rest of the lobby here. You know, the world is in their fingertips at this point, and Nosh tries to make his way on up. Hold up. Goofy and Nosh actually almost attempted a high ground retake there. They come back on the play. Down on the bottom, though, Rise and Agers. They're leading the rotate.
They're still up with 4 eliminations. They're going to need to start looking for refreshes as those materials dwindle. Reciprocal and 20 doing a great job of just holding height, but now is the time where it starts going crazy and everyone starts trying to grab that position. If Rise and Agers can just play this low ground, it looks like they found some of their old builds. They've stumbled into an old base of theirs, and that is beautiful. That is what you want to see, but Knifer and Vila also trying to play that position. Nosh grabbing an Elim, but not without losing Goofy. He goes down. Ultimately, it's going to be up to him, but he's going for the revive.
This is a good pickup. He's going to have enough time to go out and do it, but the zone's pulling straight north, so he is going to have to get him up quick and then get a move on it. Reciprocal and 20 could be running out of material, guys. Do not count them for a free victory royale. They're still going to have to fight their way and battle it out. Right now, the fact that they're not even shooting down on Nosh means that they're not paying as much attention here. They have to be very careful. Nosh looking up here. He's thinking about it. High ground looking a little bit weak on some wood builds, too. What are they going to do with this? They don't have the mats, though. Down they go. And they're just starting to run out. No, Goofy goes down. That's a 2-man team on the other side of the wall here. Nas realizes it. Out to the side he goes. Top 10 for him. Not bad. He's still in this.
Just diving in the storm, trying to play backside. Don't look at me, guys. I'm not here. He gets an Elim. That's big. That's some more points, and 110 should be putting them easily in that qual range with the next couple of games, but that's not it right now. He's cleaning that one up. He's grabbing another Elim. He has the Spider-Man's monster.
It. He's going to swing his way around. Oh, he thought about it, but no, he's going to go onto the low ground here, playing it out, taking his time. Oh, man, he gets cracked, though, so he loses a lot of HP. 20 in Reciprocal might not have any builds left either, though. So this high ground, this is just coming down to the wire here. 7 points already. Can Nosh continue to clutch up here?
Now we see he's looking for another Elim to keep this game going. He's done enough. Every time he seems to run out of everything.
On height?
Elim comes. Oh, look at it. It's Rise and Agers. They've taken it. They've played low ground the whole game and now find it. Another one for Nosh.
He's still going. He's still finding one. He found one. Can he get the second one right here? Oh, no. The peanut butter peak was just a little bit better, and down goes Nosh. But Rise and Agers, after a struggle of a weekend here, they might just have enough to pull through, but there's no builds on Rise. This is the worst kind of position you want to be in right here. Only 2 mats onto Agers' inventory here. They're going to have to jump down. They're going to have to take this fight, and there are still fresh duos alive in this lobby. No, actually, 2 solos. Okay, 2 solos and a duo.
Yeah, and the duo is Bila and Knifer. They've changed their game plan. They're on the low ground. 20 popped off. He has 7 Elims. He's going to get another one. Let's call it 8. He's rotating through. He's able to get that refresh. He has the Spider-Man. He's stuck in the middle between these 2 monsters. He's trying to make a play on low. This helps the high ground team. And now the final 2v2.
This is it. No builds either. Agers cranks on up. Rise loses HP. Down he goes. Agers has to clutch up. He was in this situation last time. He finds a beautiful knock right there. Wants the finish. It's only a 43. The clock is ticking. Down goes the full finish there. Here comes the Siphon. 70 HP. He has a small lead, but he does not know that. That was the last material. He's going to take it all the way here. Here comes the fight. There's a launch pad. This is so unfortunate. He cannot jump in that box, so he knows he's going to go to the other side. And he gets the shot there.
Able to get it, redeems himself, like he said, in a similar position to last time, cleans it up, and taking home the victory royale. Agers and Rise, hey, that's 2 teams coming out of Greasy Grove. They seem to produce something special in Greasy, and it's victory royales.
Man, but that story is going to surely continue going into finals. That contested draw spot, we already know they're willing to fight it out tooth and nail all the way through. So Rise and Agers, okay, they punched their ticket. That's game number 3 and a big round finish. And Agers gets to redeem himself. Clutch that one up.
Whew, that was another great one. I mean, I don't have any words, so I'm going to throw it over to the desk. You guys tell us exactly what happened.
I have so many words, SBG, because we talked about this in the pre-show. If you have a contested POI, that team qualifies and opens things up. We saw in Game 2, after Nounty and Sprite go through, that these guys didn't really fare well, as we saw Rise go down early, but suddenly in Game 3, the game changes. Rise was on one, as we say here in the UK, and suddenly 4 eliminations very quickly at the high ground. Sundown, it was a masterclass. It wouldn't be a finals without them. Agers and Rise qualify.
Yeah, he was able to push through, picking up a lot of their individual eliminations, but I think the biggest thing is the second contest for height, which we're watching right now. They had height earlier on in the match, but they lost materials, didn't have enough, needed to drop down. They were able to find an elimination together and then work from top to bottom. And while Rise went down, Aegis was the one who was able to seal it. And despite not having any eliminations coming into this final moment, he played this so incredibly well. He played it very patiently. And then Adam, you called it out, recognizing the fact the launch pad was there, and he wasn't able to drop down. He was able to cover the front and then made it to the finals.
There's actually so much that goes into how Aegis just played there from the high ground, right? You can see in the end there when he's in the 1v2 situation, he actually puts his main focus on the player that did not get the Siphon elimination. He just full on focused on. He knows that player has less HP than the other one because he didn't get the Siphon, and then also less resources because he didn't get the restress off of the elimination too. So make sure that he gets a knock, and then he does a little bit of damage as that player crawls into the storm, and he just waits for the Siphon to come into him so that way he gets that plus 50 HP before he re-engages. And he was so patient and so aggressive at the right times, and that is why he deserved that victory route and a spot in the finals. And listen, I called it. That's my prediction.
Do you know, I gotta say as well, like I don't say this enough, Vivid, I think you're 4 for 4 now. I think qualifiers you called, winners went through. You called last, like Fridays, every single time we've asked you of it, this guy, he's like, you are the prediction king now. Let's take a look at who the teams are that have actually qualified today. So you guys, if you just joined us, you can see exactly who has already gone through. We now have 29 teams, I believe, that have gone through. Check this out. We have Nounsy and Sprite in game 1 today. We have Pledge and Teo in game 2, and now Rise and Aegis join them in game number 3. 3 sets of duos there, which we've said their names so many times. You expect to see them in finals. They've made it, but there are still teams pushing for those points to qualify in those top 6 spots by the end of the day. Sundown, run us through.
Yeah, looking again, still up top, Nosh and Goofy Goober, Knifer and Bila, Beef and Nick, 20 in Reciprocal, Qua and Magnolia, and then currently being the gatekeepers on the outside looking in, Fabled Taco and Jackson sitting at 79 points, just above kind of that 25, 26 point average we were talking about beforehand. Then Av Enkas, Mamtating and Keys, Sensuck and Freeze, and Pose and Coop rounding out our top 10, but we still have 2 more matches to go, Vivid.
Yeah, 2 more matches to go. Pretty much anything can happen. Don't forget, right? This top 10 leaderboard matters, right? You can get top 6, get those consistency points, get yourself a spot in the finals. But if you have 0 points going into the last game and you get a victory royale, you're in the finals too. So it is not over for any of these teams by any means.
Indeed. I mean, if Nosh's team qualify as well naturally through the Victory Royale, then all the teams kind of bump up a place because they're suddenly taken out and suddenly someone else takes the leaderboard top spot, Sundown. So there is, I mean, that's what I love about this format. There's such an organic nature to it that literally anything is possible every single game.
Yeah, and it's super interesting, the dynamic for the teams who don't end up qualifying through the Victory Royale, because as you mentioned, each one of those Victory Royales pulls out not only the points that team earned, but all of the Victory Royale points, all of the eliminations they were there. And on average, looking at all the regions that have been on broadcast, that's roughly accounting for 84 points per team. So when you start taking each one of those out per each one of the individual teams, there's a lot of room to make plays, and it makes those huge games. Even if you don't get the Victory Royale, we've seen time and time again in those final matches, getting a second, a third, or just holding on for a fifth, or getting one more elimination is enough of a difference.
Yeah, it's crazy. Going into game 4 right now, we only have 2 games left to play. It's looking very, very good for Nosh up at the top of the leaderboard. Also, Knifer and them, but they got to stay consistent. I think if they play one more game out very, very well, then I think they got that top 6 in the bag, and then these other teams fighting for that victory royale. Can't wait to see what happens.
Me too. We're going to head over now to our casters. It's game 4. 2 games left. Who's going to go through? Let's find out. MDF and SBG, over to you, boys.
2 games left, but there's definitely a lot of space left to go ahead and jump your way on up. The standings getting closer and closer here, and like we have been talking about, you win a game, especially a team up at the top, you really just, completely remove all those points from the standings. It makes it continue to stay very, very close. It's nail-biting now as new teams start to, I guess, realize, hey, we can do this. We can actually be consistent enough and qual if we just play good these next 2 rounds.
And we've seen that happen. I mean, yesterday, I believe it was Death and Tabney snuck in because Peterbot won that game. If Peterbot falls, he's not able to stay in. And Monster, it's time. It's time. Game 4. Here's the battle bus.
No time to waste here. We want to get on this battle bus. Take us right to the action here. It's posed on screen. This contested drop at Tonker Speedway up against Owl. We've seen this fight round after round. And now again, with those last teams pushing through, Agers and Rise, look at how much closer, right? That's a team out. Posed and Coop now find themselves here. What's this? Top 10. They weren't that close before, but just by winning, just by playing patient, just by doing just enough, all of a sudden they are very much in this competition for the back tail half, the tail piece of this tournament. Over at Greasy, what happened?
Oh.
They heard the spots uncontested.
Everyone heard the spot was uncontested. It looks like we have 4 duos here, and they're like, oh, okay, no one's no longer here. This is a great idea. Let's go there. But apparently, everyone had the same idea of trying to fill the void left by Agers, Rise, Bouncy, and Sprite. Pam, Stu, and Fatch, interesting to see them here. They had what I thought was a good area of the map, but obviously wasn't good enough. They're trying to go and grab a piece of Greasy. Magnolia and Claw doing the same thing.
Why are they here? Look at how good they've played so far. Top 5 currently. And they decide to come to Greasy Grove when you know other teams are going to decide to try to come here too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you see 2 teams qual out of Greasy and you're like, okay, they got to be doing something special here, right?
See how it works out. I mean, it's only a matter of time before that feed lights up. There's no way 6 players are walking out of there without contesting one another or getting into some kind of battle. On over to Smite and Larson, who have really not found success since trying to contest up against Mega and Dubs. They decide to try their hand elsewhere here, and they come across Zenki and Ducky.
Another one. Just another one. Add it to the list. Smite and Larson, have no fear. We're going to come after you. It may not work out for us every time. We're still going to try and take these fights. In a pretty poor position, though. Not really much to their name. Big shot there on Ducky. And Smite's going to get the chop here. That'll allow him to get some shots. One short, but his teammate goes up. He can't get up himself. Shots coming through. He's looking to clean that up, and both players are 1 HP.
Yeah, this is it. All you have to do is really just find this last little tag here, and it's all wraps. But Smite, limited ammunition, no builds, opts into the mythic hands here. The Spider-Man hands goes around the side. Weapon's not loaded, though. Has to give it up.
That's not what you want. You don't want to be using these at this stage in the game. They're great for those late game rotates, and we see trying to make plays for high ground. Smite jumping in, getting the final shots there. Down goes one. Now, can he find the other? Can him and Larson clean this up before somebody else comes in? And it looks like a vehicle's coming in from the south to get involved in this fight. Larson, Smite, they hear that, they're out. Batch, Pam, Statch, they wanted to get involved.
Look at this, Smite and Larson are gone. They're out of there. Like, no, don't want none of that. You can have this battle. You guys can have this game. Smite and Larson want to just continue to play this round out, even though they're at a huge disadvantage. There goes the Siphon. You saw the shield coming out of nowhere there. Off the Zenki. So down body very late, but does eventually get finished off, as it seems like that team gets completely wrapped up by Pamson and Fat. So what a game for Smite and Larson. What a game for Pam and Fatch to land at Greasy Grove. Forced out of there early. They didn't want to take that fight against the 2 other duos. Like we said, it was just way too much, a little too populated for the time being.
This is that fight we've seen at Condo happen many times. Zuck and Freeze trying to close this out for the 3rd time in a row. Getting in the box, though. Zuck goes down. Now it's up to Freeze. He grabs the top here, has the piece control, but he's the one missing the shots. And that auto shotgun not going to be able to do enough damage. He's the one on the back foot backing out of this fight. And HD, these guys want revenge. They don't want to just let this guy walk away. This is personal now.
Yeah, surely. And not only that, you know, he doesn't have any builds down low. Like Freeze doesn't have anything, really. That was it. That's wrap. So runs out of material, runs out of resource. All of a sudden they get finished off. A little dance. Little dance on the body there before he gets sent back in full to the lobby. Now the one issue with that, though, that I have is he took that left camera peek. You know, sticking to the fundamentals is gonna be the best way for you to take any battle. The moment you stop doing that, it's wraps.
Yep, and we do see another player coming in. Looks like Zone is going to pull over to Condo. So if I'm these guys, I would have preferred not to get Zone, because then you can loot it. And we're using a launch pad way too early here, but he was separated and needed to get back to his teammate.
And the truth is, they haven't really won any early game fights. This is the first one, so grasping at straws here. Flo and Nazin, though, on the other side, you know, doing a lot better here. Top 16. Saw the elims go down. You've probably been watching the feed for quite some time, so I'm thinking they have a good grip on what's happening here.
Yeah, I would imagine that whether or not they knew who won this fight, they knew that this fight's been happening every single match, and they're just going to wait and walk into this, and they got winner. They got next, and for whoever wins that fight over a Kondo, there's not really a great position to be in. They're just taking piece by piece, closing them in, and eliminating any space. Nazin gets some big shots there, and following up more. Nazin, Flo, been putting the pressure on. I don't think HD and Co really have much left to them. They're just going to try and get whatever's left. But HD getting back to his teammate, at least they're going to go down together if they do.
This is game 4. There's only 5 games today. Getting taken out now can just be the momentum killer for you, right? It can really offset you. Fortnite, as much as it is a mechanical game and, you know, about games and stuff, you know, it's emotional being a competitive player as well. You really got to keep your mental balance in check here. So rounding things out, HD and crew may have had finally a small taste of success in this early game, but they're gone. They're out now, full reset. And it happened very, very early, so they didn't really get to play this tournament out.
Unfortunately, now another third party coming in, the SMG only squad, trying to represent. Everyone wants to get involved, and you know, Monster, occasionally this happens. You start having these long, drawn-out engagements. People start hearing the shots coming through, and if it lasts long enough, another team, and then another team, and then another team just keep jumping in on this fight.
Well, that's the thing, right? No 2 Fortnite games are ever the same, and the zone has a big part in why that is, right? This zone finally lands on the Kondo Canyon, and it's like a blessing and a curse. Honestly, it's usually against your favor if the zone's right on top of you, right? Like you mentioned, more often than not, you want to loot your area, have a reason to move, so other people want to rotate, and then you can have a better understanding, right? Your game sense, you can basically strategize a little bit better on your movement. When the zone's right on top of you, I mean, you have these kind of situations occur, right? Can you really anticipate someone moving into you? Just depends.
And you got these people that are good at looting, you know, they're moving out first zone. But let's see all that chaos that happened in the beginning of this game, because we saw more fights happen this game than we did in the previous 2, except Voil cleaning it up. That was Flood going down, Ducky just hiding behind a ramp. Fatch and Pam's dude just cleaned that up. He didn't have anywhere to go. And then obviously the Kondo Canyon we've seen, it's still going on, but this was happening earlier, and I'm sure more players are rotating into that space right now.
I was just going to say, Ducky there had a single heavy shotgun. If he would have got something, again, that would have been huge. Here's Moo. Pretty happy. Okay, big smile on his face. We love to see it here. I want to encourage our pro players, you know, opt into those camera shots to make for some real fun moments. Tag your favorite pro players. Who would you like to see their reaction and whatnot? We definitely want to see it. It's one of my favorite pieces of the broadcast for sure.
Yeah, it's a great piece. Great addition, you know, because at the end of the day, they're just people. And we're all just people playing the video game. It's nice to throw in those reactions and the awesome moments. Imagine you win one of those reboot rounds or the semi-final matches, and you get to throw yourself out there.
He's so sick. Knifer and Byla almost went and chose them today. This was my first pick coming out of the earlier weeks. Actually, my second FNCS qualifier too. I was saying, hey, you know what? I think these guys got it today. Now in the semis though, second place. All right, 99 points. It's the final stretch here.
Definitely are. One more solid match and they should all but solidify it. I mean, from what we've seen in the previous, let's say 110 or so is safe. So if they're able to pick up lost. This is one of those water zones, water-esque zones that we could see.
Yeah, definitely. And Condo Canyon is going to be the hot real estate right now. This is where everyone wants to be. This is where the cool kids club is. Rokane and Joji have already found their little spot, their little position here on the north side of Condo. On the south side, though, tons of teams. Looks like they're just duking it out. Looks like there's fights possibly unfolding down there. How close those guys are positioned up on top of one another. Keep in mind, as the surge starts to unfold, that's why you'll see teams like that get that close to other teams. It's pretty much a red flag if someone's basing up right next to you with all the, again, other options available. Someone's getting really close to you, well, you know it's about to go down. They're probably looking for a fight sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's why those plateaus that we see over near Condo are quite nice. You can't really base up next to them without getting punished for that position just because of the openness. And now we see a team that was in a position where they might need surge, but obviously felt comfortable. They moved back further away than most players and put themselves in a position where they're well beyond. They're in a good spot. And now we're tuning in with Bank and Unreal in a position where they could qualify if they have 2 solid matches. They just really need to put themselves in a place to continue. They had one really good game and then a couple of average ones. Now we see another team in a pretty similar position, about able to qualify if we have one more good match, but so is everyone else. And now these guys are behind, just hit the reboot, having to make the rotate. Storm Surge is going to start kicking in a minute, so they have a long rotate to go and not going to be able to get any damage until they jump in.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it is not looking too good for OhPhux and Yuz right now. Such a long way to go. By the time they get there, I mean, they're going to have to beeline into someone to take a fight, just like Boxer and Convicted are doing right now. I like that they're doing it early. They're not waiting for other players to go down. Instead, they're trying to take this game and, you know, make do, right? Make it work here. This is Dusky and Company. No way. They stand out in the open while Boxer having an angle like that. Those were the tags that he needed here. This is the reason they took the fight.
Now they're out. They got what they needed. Now just going to lurk on the outskirts. Few players on the outside looking in. We see Beef and Nick, another team in the top 3. I think they fell in 12th last game, so multiple top 15s, pretty consistently making those 8th and 9th zones. So we see them just need a couple of tags here. I wouldn't be too concerned, as they can see all those players needing to rotate. Beef is going to be able to grab one, but that's not enough. We need a few more, get the job done. Nick looking for shots as well, but here's the edge of the zone. OhPhux and Yuz able to make it in, but just because they're in doesn't mean they're safe. Zone is at their back, Storm Surge is on their head, and so is Edgy and Tahi.
Yeah, and so is the rest of the lobby, because they're right at Condo Canyon. They can hear all these shots. They're within earshot of this battle going down. OhPhux goes for the full commit. Remember, they just came out the zone. They had the biggest disadvantage right into Edgy and Tahi. They just get gifted tons of loot. Possibly even the vehicle if they didn't explode that too. So, you know, a lot to gain from finding that team there on the outer edge. There goes the feed catching up. Yuz completely eliminated. They're all gone. Here's Keys and Mama Ting up at 8th place currently. Okay, not bad at all, but they're below the surge. This is a very desperate position to be in. Just a few tags separate them from the pressure now. That's a wood box. Maybe thinking about chin checking it. There it is. Nice little tag. Okay.
Got him.
2 damage above.
That's what you want to see if you're Keys and Mamtating, able to get that elim, and Rokane picking, or not elim, that tag I should say, but Rokane picking up one, and there's another player right in their sights. It's Shark Boy after picking up Lava Girl, and now Rokane and Joji are on the chase. They want this elim. Solos don't last long in these lobbies.
No, definitely not, especially when you get coned up like that. Rokane, cap now. The material count after that one. A little bit of high ground as well to play off of. Launchpad for the reward too. This is big loot. Mind you, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, we saw where they were landing, right? They're landing up at the covert. So pretty clear that they had a struggle of a game here. Big rotate. That's like the far pull for any teams up there. We haven't seen any zones last, what maybe 3 weeks, right? FNCS, we haven't seen any zones come this far. This is the first the canyon coming into play.
Yeah, several players were tweeting about that. They were like, how many people have played a condo zone? Well, here it is. Haven't gotten the experience with it. We'll see who's able to think on the fly, able to make those quick reactions. Because ultimately, that's what it is. It's a bunch of reactionary pieces, some proactive, and then finding ways to just be crazy good mechanically. So we see Joji and Rokane able to make that rotate in, but this north side, oh my goodness. There's not going to be anyone on the south side of zone because it's in the water, and everyone is going to be stuck in this little chunk. Maybe you might want to go down to that island, go hang out, kick it.
I'm actually surprised Bila and Knifer pretty much made the right call here. They went coastal early. They decided just, hey, you know what? We're going to play the dead side. Like, super. And now it's working out. Now they get to see everyone coming in. That's a player on Mythics. Okay, yes. So he's sliding on through. These are fresh builds, easy targets, and a Stormline too. So notice the tap fire here. Just trying to bait them in. Making sure if they do expose themselves in full, they have just enough bullets to go and land some extra tags there. These tags are very important too to their position. They may have been very, very comfortable coming into the early game, but they didn't probably have much opportunity to find more tags afterwards. So these tags are very crucial. There's Taco and Jackson. Windmill team landing. So they've been south this whole time. And they have the best spot. A little bit of high ground. Dead center right now.
They're currently sitting in 6th place. They've been doing just enough to keep themselves in it. At 84 points, I mean, they're right there. We see Rokane picking up an Elim. So they're Rokane and Joji pushing up the leaderboard as well, trying to come for these positions of the top 6. We did see Tahi and Edgy fell once again, so not able to make another endgame. They'll get one last shot to try and win a game, but that consistency is not happening today. Nonetheless, Fabled Taco, Jackson J, having one great performance. They played all right yesterday, but definitely came ready with a game plan and executing so well.
Yeah, definitely. Another team looking to slide up into one of those dominant positions here is Quad Magnolia. They're just hanging out. Zone 4 is going to start coming to a close here soon. The lobby getting sliced up right here. A few players outside the bubble. They're going to have to slide on in. Quad Magnolia get the first issue of the surge warning there. They're 158 damage above. Nothing to worry about there. Rokane and Joji are above as well. Knifer and Bila manage, although, to play the dead side, find tons of tags.
And already we're down below 50, so a nice deep breath for everyone. You know, relax. We're not dealing with that storm surge in 5th zone for once. But a lot of players had to fall for that to happen. We do see Jackson able to get an elimination there. And now Mamtating is a solo all by himself without keys. He was lost on the rotate. Does have the position to be able to just farm out, grab a bunch of space within this building, and just sit there and cross your fingers and hope that zone pulls your way. We see Nosh and Goofy Goober grabbing some extra loot there. And everyone is on that north side. AV and Enkusu are the only two on that south side, besides a couple of teams all the way on the western half.
Yeah, now that NQ's and company, I mean, look at this. Zone comes their way. It's going south. They're in top 7 here, so this is the spot they want to be in. First dibs on the next rotate. You know, for a moment, we actually had a little bit of silence, a little bit of comfort settling into the world, and now things are getting heated up once again here. Rokane turning on the pressure here. There it is. Another catch for Joji and Rokane, but the punishment coming in this time. It's a duo that's willing to fight back here. Splash doesn't hit Rokane there, so a little missed opportunity, but all that matters for Joji is staying alive here, getting the reset and being prepared for the next rotate.
That was so close. They got the Elim, and then everyone starts looking at them. And yeah, you say floppers. Have we seen anyone carrying floppers like this entire time?
We were talking about that last week. We were like, dude, what happened to floppers, man? Where's these heal-offs? We just don't see them very often. And this is a rare occurrence for us. Nick just slides past the enemy there. He's virtually blended into the builds. Doesn't even notice him. You know, you think to yourself, well, why would anyone not be in a box? That was that guy standing behind a wall.
Everyone trying to make this southern rotate here too. We're half in water. We got that island, so if you were able to make that rotate to the beach down below, you would have been in a good spot. You see Joji and Rokane able to make that rotate as well. Where do you think zone's going, Monster?
I mean, the odds are so slim at this point. I think it's going south.
Uh-oh.
Look at this. What a shot. What a beautiful shot. Couple fishing positions there, too.
Yeah. Everyone's hanging out. They're finding their positions. Does lose Owl there. SMG posed. So Owl posed, cracked. Those guys been fighting off spawn this whole time. But hold on. We got another one.
Charlie and Spegu on the other side of the wall here. Zone pulls west now. Joji and Rokane have not stopped fighting since the moment they entered into the zone 4. They've been battling it out, looking for refreshers and everything in between. Bila and Knifer have the longest rotate in the lobby right now. They have the most difficult task to make here. You have to cross over this wave of players that separate, that are housed up in between them and the new storm, the new safety. It's moving now.
Slacks and Clarity now just trying to hold this high ground. Gonna do a nice cheap rotate here. Spending almost no mats. They're gonna dive back though, hit this launch pad. Yeah, saving some materials that helps you. You get to still hold that high ground because nobody's taking it yet. Slacks goes back, reinforces the high ground. They're playing it once again. We haven't seen these two on height thus far, Monster.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For a second there, I thought, I'm like, Clarity, wait, why? Why would you use your pad now? It's too late, but that was a recycle there, so well played for them. Nick and Beef still up right now, too. They're starting to run low. See if they start approaching this red light here. Will they be able to gas through? We'll find out shortly. Shiesty on the low ground there, sliding his way across. Bila left as a solo now. Lost Knife for 52 damage above the threshold of the Storm Surge, but that's the least of his concerns, as now he has to try to just stay alive here, make this endgame. Joji makes a wrong turn there into the zone. He goes, and it's going to cost him a lot.
Oh man, Bila was able to find a rift. They were left over from the early game. No one took those, and he's just going to use that for a nice free rotate. Clarity and Slacks really good up top, but some shots starting to come through for them.
They're hyper-focused on what's happening down low. They haven't even looked up once. If they do, I mean, you hear the MK7s, it'll just be shred time out there. Just look at this wide shot here, giving us a great example of how many players are still left up. Qual now making his way up to this next layer here. Little bit of pressure up for Clarity G and Slacks, and it's not free for them by any means. You can see how many teams are starting to look up and put some shots up there. Muzz is going to fall here. Almost makes a big end game. There goes Rokane in the feed. Just outside the top 15, just inside the top 15.
And these two looking really good as far as heals go, but those materials are dwindling. They definitely don't have enough to sustain this high ground position. We see Bila somehow still up. Oh my goodness. We talk about solo clutches. He may not have the elims, but he has the placements and the rotates. And as we say that someone's getting in, he holds it off for another second, but just too many players in that area. The contest is coming for high ground right now.
Nexi's going up right now as well. Slacks just lets his guard down here and loses the high ground. Clarity G and Slacks now. What should have been a victory royale ends up with no materials and a new team up above. Wrigley is going to be by himself as well. Only 8 builds. That's a quick block there as the team almost swung their way up and around, and looks like they are going to find a success. Oh. It's the box. Wrigley goes. Great tag there. That's off to Clarity G. Down to low ground. There goes the finish. That's a 3-point swing. Chug splash almost enough, but no. Slacks was not going to let him get away with that. It's Moo on height. We already saw Moo's reaction to his last little elim there. He was very, very happy. If we get to see this win moment, it could be everything for the kid as he punches his way to finals, but there is still a tall task in front of them. They have to fight their way through. Magnolia and Qual on the low ground. Slacks here, who is completely positioned up to do some big plays here. He's got the momentum in his sails. Can he do it? Nope. That's a big shot there. 34 HP left. He gets hunted down to the hands of another player, and Qual is also going to get taken out. Uh-oh. This is not looking good for everyone else, but it's looking great for Height.
Yeah, Goofy Goober here cleans this up. They have so many points. If he wins this, that's another spot open. He's going for another elim right in the face there of Vert. Vert holding the wall, trades the tags. Nope. He wins that one. Moo, and then they fall down. Moo and Wanted fall. It's Princess and Ant all the way up. It's a 1v2.
I cannot believe that just happened. It's up to Vert by himself in a 1v2 situation. He does not have any more mats. Vert has to jump down. How in the world did Moo manage to fall there? Princess Wolf and AMT have been struggling at their draw spot day in and day out. Today, though, it just seems like things started to piece together over here. Mind you, we were just talking about how much of a struggle it was for them. They land over at the covert castle, right? They have to cross all the way through.
And now still just putting all this pressure on, but they have no mats. This is just a no mat battle. They trade a little bit. Vert goes down, and it's Princess Wolf and AMT taking it.
Not only that, they get to do it together, hand in hand, as they jump down and in sync hit the big shotgun shot there to win that game out. Vert, my man, almost pulls some big plays out of the pocket there, but just wasn't going to be enough in the end. 7 eliminations, rounding into the 8th for the Victory Royale. Hats off to Princess Wolf and AMT, who stayed patient and played that game exceptionally well, considering they had the longest rotate of anyone else.
Oh, you love to see it. And just taking advantage of unfortunate situations for other people. Sometimes you just look up and height is falling and you're like, all right, I guess I have to play high ground now if it's just going to be gifted to me. But the thing I liked most about that is they dropped at the same time. A lot of times you see that 2v1 situation, a player gets overzealous, they try and drop down and win the game, play hero ball, and these two perfectly, same time, clean it up and take the dub.
Yeah, definitely. And that was just round number 4 here. We do have another game in front of us. I need to look at the standings, though, so I'm going to send it on over to our guys at the desk. Let's get over there.
All right for a second here. Now, yesterday, okay, we saw that Nets and Spark, you're in 45th position before getting through to finals. Looking at the stats just now before the leaderboard updated itself, all the way down at 49th. Was Princess and AMT. That is crazy. One place off the bottom, and they suddenly project themselves all the way through to finals. Sundown, this is the thing dreams are made of, my friend.
I mean, it's everything you could want in this type of format. When the Victory Royale will send you through, when your back is against the wall, when there's only 2 games there, you have nothing else to play for. Granted, they had tomorrow to play for, so they would have had some more opportunities, but what a better spot to get it. And when you're able to kind of just know that, like, hey, the victory will put us through here, you're going to sharpen down a little bit. And they made the individual plays, and as the casters noted, they took advantage of some unfortunate situations that happened there to everyone else on Height, Vivid.
Oh, Moo has got to be just wondering how he could let that happen. You know, he was chilling up on the higher ground, and then all of a sudden, the Victory Royale gets stolen right out from under him. But Princess Wolf and AMT, they're doing it all. They are going to be getting their first points of the day, and it's going to be a Victory Royale through that Victory Royale straight to the finals, and it's going to be their first FNCS finals for them, actually. So that is awesome for them. Wow. They have to be ecstatic.
Oh, I mean, it's, you know, you'll be floating on air right now. It's going to be unbelievable knowing that you are there in the finals after such a torrid day 2. Suddenly, you've qualified. Let's take a look at some of the other teams as well. Obviously, we'll have a look at the kind of the leaderboard shortly, where we're going to see really what players and teams need to do to get into finals in those last spots here. Clarity and Slacks, a team that I picked earlier on today, and they actually had a pretty good run there at the end. Slacks, they're managing to kind of... They took high ground so early on. I think that was the problem here, and they just ran out of mats, and that's such a... I mean, Sundown, is this a timing thing here? Is this just kind of a loss of focus for a second? Because going that early, knowing that there's no one else around you, naturally, you're going to fail. You're going to have to come down at some point and engage.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit while we were sitting there on the analyst desk, and it seems like a lot of these players, particularly on NA East, just maybe aren't watching Europe. They're not taking the time to go and see how these games are playing out, because with the exception of one single game that we saw yesterday, that was game number 1 with Janice and Vortex, any team who has taken height in the 50-50 zone in NA East in Europe has not won the game out. You burned through way too many mats, and you saw even that first pull went like island to island across the lake. They had to burn their launch pad and still build all the way up. Like, if you commit to height that early, you better have a full inventory.
Yeah, it's sort of like a meta thing, right? Like, I love to talk about how qualifiers 1 and 2 in that first weekend, we saw like no height take. So yeah, maybe they would have won the game there, but players have adapted. They've realized that these players are running out of mats fast, and they take advantage in that 8th zone, and they just go for it.
Absolutely. Right, let's take a look at this. Let's just set the tone for you guys at home here. We've got 4 games, 4 Victory Royales, 4 qualifiers. Okay, Naunty and Sprite game 1, game 2, Pledge and Teo. We then had Ryzen Ages game 3, and in game 4, out of nowhere, Princess Wolf and AMT go through as well. Those 4 teams qualify. One more place up for grabs in game 5. But the leaderboard, this is where I think it's really exciting right now, because 6 teams from this board go through. Sundown, let's look at the teams that are on the edges here who could go through, because it's very tight at the top with 6 top teams now all on 3 figures.
Well, we've been so used to coming into this last game seeing a major shakeup because of the match 5 winner going through. With that being said, the 49th place duo won match number 5. So now it looks pretty much the same. Let's take a look immediately. All I care about right now, what's happening at 6 and 7. Fabled Taco and Jackson at 104, and then Av and Enkaz at 98. So a 6-point gap between the crowd, and even then an 8-point gap after that. So those are going to be a 2 of our focal point. But anybody who's in that 4th, 5th, and 6th spot right now, Vivid, they still need to have at least a decent game, put some points on the board.
Yeah, definitely just need a couple of points to secure themselves a top 6, but let's not forget, I love to stress the fact that we have a Victory Royale that leads you straight to the finals as well. So any of these teams, right, it's looking a little grim for the top 6, but it's not looking grim in terms of a Victory Royale. Yes, maybe you haven't been playing so well on the day, but you got to take a little bit of inspiration from what just happened in Game 4. 49th place team gets the Victory Royale. It can happen to anybody.
They really can. I mean, what's interesting as well, we talked yesterday about like Donny and Macwood, Clicks and Day, teams that didn't get the Victory Royale, but just continue just to have, you know, kind of express themselves and show everybody that they are here, they mean business, and they want to go to the finals. They're going to qualify with the points. And even though Nosh's duo hasn't actually got the Victory Royale, they're still sitting pretty and just enjoying themselves out there and putting on a show for us. So whether or not they do get the Victory Royale and open up some spaces, we'll have to wait and see. But this is Game 5, the last opportunity for points and of determining who those top 6 teams are going through on points, and who the last Game 5 Victory Royale winner is going to be as well. It's over to Monster and SBG for the last time. The last game of the night. Let's do this thing. Over to you.
It's the last game for NA East, as we do have a lot of competition in front of us today. But hey, the train doesn't stop here. You know, there's still a lot of pressure on the line right now. Sundown said it best. Teams in 4th, 5th, and 6th definitely have their work cut out for them. No one is safe just yet. Anyone just inside that top 12 or so, I think, has a real fighter's chance to hop up.
Yeah, no doubt. And we don't know who's going to win this next match. So there could be a free 6th slot that was being held by one of those current top teams. It'll be interesting to see because this game is about to go crazy. We're seeing a lot of places emptied out. Greasy may go wild once again. Who knows, Monster?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like if a team like Nosh wins, then, well, that's another slot available for someone. So the battle bus is ready. Let's jump into this last game of NA East.
So we've basically filled, our top 2, maybe let's call it top 3 spots. They've almost all but solidified it. It is this last game that decides the last 3 spots. Is someone going to do something crazy? Are we going to determine our winner at the last moment like we've seen so many times this weekend? Nosh, Goofy Goober, taking it down one last time here at the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, they took Polarized and Nico's drop spot for a little bit. On over to Smite, though. Smite and Larson here, who for the 3rd or 4th time today have chosen the new drop spot. This time right on top of Shark Boy and Lava Girl there, shutting down the Dreams. That round here. Going back to the old trusty here. Looks like it's a fight for the Llama. Is this right? Just outside the Loot Lake. Possibly for the Llama split, but...
Now it looks like Bank is coming into this area? No, he looked at it. He decided we're getting on out of there. But lots going on in this early game, deciding the last game. People may be switching it up. This is your last desperate chance to qualify today. Granted, we still have 6 more games tomorrow. But if you want to get in today, you don't want to play more Fortnite tomorrow, at least not right at this level. You got to win this match or put yourself up in that top 6. We see Chonkers. It's been contested all day. It's not changing at all in this last match.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty big gap, right, from these teams in 11th place. If they want to get all the way on up, 30 points separate them from the competition. So that's 10 elims and outperforming the opponents via placement points or, just tons of placement, basically. They're really just praying for the downfall of any of those teams holding those top positions, but it's not completely over just yet as Owl gets turned on here. Big tags come through. Opposing Cooper really going to need to finish this one up quickly here before the backup comes in. Backup's on the way, and no, Post just going to do it. Owl, a little bit sharper here today.
Wow. Okay, I was not expecting that to happen. Well played by Owl right there. You can't ask for better than that. A little support from Cracked coming in from the side, but man, 2 elims off to start. If you're trying to crawl back into this, just drop, you know, a 30 elim game to qualify? It's possible. We've seen 15 happen.
Nope, just go win. That's it. Just go. A 30 elim, highly unlikely.
Hey,
Just gotta just win, man.
you gotta give the guys hope, right? But we're seeing a couple of players going for this boat over here. First action we've seen with Zenki and Ducky on the boat, just tagging up the SMG squad. They must have literally no builds to just be sitting there getting shot at.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Seems like they made a mistake. They thought, oh, look, just spawned on our side. Let's go and play after it. But it's one of those flex drops right there. You got to be careful, Zenki and Ducky, in claiming it today. It's the first points on the board. First big points for them, at least. So they pick up their first elim. Not bad. But again, this is the last game. So, you know, for all these teams you're watching on screen right now, all that matters is that Victory Royale, these early game fights, are just, you know, ways for them to find Surge, honestly. If that even becomes a factor here, which it should, right? Because all these guys have a true chance.
Oh, no doubt. At some point, Surge will be a factor. We're seeing some plays right on the zipline. Noisy able to win that one. Dayfan getting sent back to the lobby. Now it's a little 2v1 to clean this up. Can last place Curse and Noisy find J-Man on the way out. J-Man's doing his best left foot, right foot escape. But is it going to work? It looks like he's going to be able to get out of here for a second. Don't know that this will last.
Yeah, puts a little stop here onto last place Curse. So, unfortunately, though, he is starting to run out of space here. Oh, he tries to fake him out. He's underneath the ledge there. Does he reveal himself? Yes, he does. Out he goes. Now last place recognizes exactly what's going on. That might have been the big mistake there. I think he should have just gotten out when he had the chance.
It's a smart play.
You can't actually eliminate him. There is the only way is basically you need like a clinger, or you know what I mean. You need some way to get an explosive or something underneath the build. Maybe a gas canister you throw it in. You know, like very few ways to eliminate him at this point.
Yeah, and he's gonna have to move at some point. He's probably gonna want to get his boy's card to get him back up. And Noisy will just sit here and wait. I mean, look at the loadout. That tells me I'm fine. I'll take some shots. J-Man gonna get on out of there, but oh, Smite Larson getting in another fight here. This is what they're known for at this FNCS, just taking all these fights.
Yeah, at this point, you know what? They've played such an aggressive game since the beginning. You know, I'm sure it's going well for their careers at this point, and a lot of people giving them a lot of respect right now, and you kind of have to at this point. They've proven what they can do. I'm super curious. Like, if they don't end up winning this round and qualifying tomorrow, if they just play nice and easy and show us what they got in the placement compartment. It is pretty exciting seeing what teams like this can do once they make it all the way through to the end. It's pretty clear that Larson's got what it takes. Just take a look at the mechanics right now. Very clean elimination onto Shiesty right there.
Able to clean that one up too, and now I'm gonna try and chase down this last elim if they're able to get it. Looks like Rhythm's gonna jump in the car. Oh, they got it. They're diving on this if they have any kind of movement, but I don't think they do, and Rhythm's gonna squeak out of there with very little HP.
I was ready for them to punch in those headshots right there. Ding, ding, ding. And
Nonetheless, they'll have to find some other players to go take a fight with, because Rhythm, he's not about it right now. He's walking on out of here trying to find a little reboot action for his teammate, if he was even able to grab the card. Now we're checking out Joji and Rokane, one of those teams on the outside looking in. And we'll fly through for you. Projected qualification is going to be about 125 points.
Whoa.
Which is pretty high compared to what we've seen in some other regions and days.
Yeah, but it makes sense, right? When 4th, 5th, and 6th are around 110, 115, team players like Rokane, right? You're going to need a really big game. You're going to need a really big game. You're going to have to make it all the way through to the end. Slash and Clarity G in that same boat, as is AV and NQs. These are the teams that we're hoping just pop off right now.
The toughest part about this too is, one, you need to hope that all of the top 6 don't make it through the end of the game. Really, 4 through 6 don't make it to end game. And then you have to hope that you do more than the other teams in those similar positions. That 3 box that we just saw with all 3 teams, all of those guys have the ability to pop off, have like a 10+ elimination game, and it doesn't matter what you do. If you're putting up 10 elims, that's 30 points right there. That's shooting you into that top 6.
It's definitely possible as well. AV playing this Rocky Reels. So once again, we're seeing this desert biome come into play here. This is a zone that's pushing back this way. We haven't gotten a full shot of the map just yet, right? Things are still setting up here, but you can see everyone's coming south. They're thinking, you know, repeat performance possibly from the last game. What were the mistakes there? Maybe not getting there soon enough. Maybe not having one of those little mountains, you know, claiming a canyon.
That's a good point. Sometimes you under-rotate expecting zone to bounce back, and really just all inning like we saw from Knifer and Byla in that last game would have worked out in your favor. Now we see Slacks and Clarity getting beamed up from so many different angles. It's not exactly where you want to be. This is a terrible position in a valley between multiple players. This is not what we want.
Let's take a look here. New zone reveals, and it is coming south once again here. Oh no. Condo Canyon, Risky Reels, the entire desert biome. This is a repeat. Now, mind you, the desert biome in particular is one of the more, you know, high ground, low ground type zones, right? There's a lot of dips. You got to get there early. If you're playing this outskirt, man, like you said, they got a small taste of what happened last round for rotating late. A lot of those teams were punished.
The tallest piece in that southern map is right to the north of Chonkers. There's that weird looking hill that looks like an ice cream cone or an upside down triangle, which Zone has a tendency to pull up and down those massive mountains. We see all these plateaus. Jackson giving us a little bit of a perspective, but you have to get through this open area that these players are trying to hold from. Man, if we get one of those plateau zones where it goes up just a flat cliff face, that's going to be a tough rotate for anybody.
And at this point, anything's possible. It's all on the table. Jackson and Taco. Can't believe we kind of started our journey with them. FNCS qualifier week number 1, day 1. One of the first engagements we watched go down over at the windmill. They've been duking it out ever since. Day after day, day in and day out. Haven't dropped an appearance just yet. Here's Keys. The other side already here nice and early. So a lot of our top teams, a lot of our veterans in position.
That's where you need to be in this last game. You know that the stakes are high, and the experience is what gets you here. It's what allows you to be one of those top players, is understanding those positions. And one of these other teams right in that position to put themselves in the finals with one last match is going to be Beef and Nick. Wow, all of these guys are so high in points and so close too. Like, this is going to come down to the last moments. I know we've seen it in multiple different regions, multiple different days, but there's no way this gets decided before that final elim.
It's those little shots right there. Those shots that you miss right there when Surge is giving you the warning that gonna make you second guess yourself here. 44 above the Surge. Things have really slowed down. 82 players remaining in the lobby. Things started really quickly. I thought we were in for, you know, one of those fast rounds where the lobby cuts down, but they said, no. We understand. We can win.
Yeah, all these players, they were getting in those fights early. It was chaos. I mean, all those early game fights, like you mentioned. But now it's the deep breath for the final song.
Ooh, Avery tagged up big time down low. Muzz right there. Rokane just playing the blush here, trying to keep a little element of surprise in front of him, and no tags for him either. Luckily, they're not as in a desperate situation as some others might be here, as they're 260 above, but it's not going to last you forever. Not for the full duration of the game. You are going to need to continue to get active. J-Man and Dayfan do just enough here on this northwest portion of the zone here. Few teams still outside the zone, though. Plenty of opportunity. Out comes the box fight here. On to Muzz and Avery. They're below again.
This is not a team I want to have to fight for Surge. If I'm running into Muzz and Avery for my Surge fight, I'm not in a good position. These guys understand why this fight's about to happen. They're not getting pushed for no reason. They know just hold this out, chip away at them, and Storm Surge will do the work. Build some space, allow yourself to get some tags in the meantime. Yeah, just these little peek shots, taking the side shots. Not connecting just yet, but eventually they're going to start taking Storm Surge damage, and then you just win this engagement by default.
There it is. Shot in the back there. J-Man loses all of his shield. Things are going to start to slow down now. Muzz and Avery have a decision to make. Do they push on in and take advantage? Have they realized what just went down? I think they do recognize the defensive stance that J-Man has put himself in. They surely understand this is a Surge battle here at this point. Great tag right there. Surge just finishes up J-Man. He gets straight taken out the lobby there. Whoever did the last damage managed to finish it. It's actually Rhythm and Shiesty who jump on in. Muzz and Avery granted with an elimination there. As things unfolded so quickly. Reciprocal and 20 just barely above the Surge, not inside the safety of this next zone that just revealed itself, but very easy rotate for them. It's pulling towards the Chonkers, so no one in the Condo Canyon is safe either. And that's where I would say the bulk of the players are, right? Judging by the last game, they're thinking, oh, it's going right back this way. And no, that's not the case. This time, a little bit of Buga's drop spot in play right now. It's the Chonkers.
Now checking out some of these fights that happened. Rhythm was down below. That's why they jumped in and third-partied this fight. You know, they won for a second, but ultimately it cost Milks. He goes back and gets sent back to the lobby. Unfortunately, it's going to be all up to that Solo trying to make plays there. Reciprocal and 20, though, in a good spot. They're the only player in the southern quadrant of this zone.
Not for long, though. Others are on the move here. Rokane and Joji back onto them right now, getting targeted inside the vehicle. NQs and AV as well. They give up their mount, and they had a vehicle up. Okay, so they actually were very much prepared, more prepared than anyone else in the lobby. Although they had the plateau, they also had the car sitting up there fully boxed up.
Look at that.
They managed to use that to get off of it and straight into the new safety of the storm now.
What good rotate. You don't see that often with those people bringing cars up to a plateau. Rokane, Joji able to make their way into zone though. 2 elims all together. We just saw that shot. Looks like literally all the teams from 4 to 12 are still up at them, fighting for these final spots. So don't go anywhere. We got some action for you. It's coming. We're just building. These players are letting us relax before they go crazy on us and just break it down.
Yeah, this is what we're here for. Celebrating the best of the best. I mean, I could kick back and watch high-tier competitive Fortnite all day long. Watching these players base up, go position to position. This is what really excites me, honestly. These are the players that are fighting for it right now. Legacies, stories, history being written right before our eyes.
Speaking of legacies, Dubs getting an elim there on the Pam Stew. An old legacy versus a new one created over the past few months. Let's call it a year from Pam Stew. Thatch, obviously, his teammate. Much longer legacy going all the way back to World Cup days. AV trying to find some shots here. That player just getting absolutely tagged up by the entire lobby. Welcome to the lobby, Focus. It's fun, just not for you.
That's a tough spot to be in. He's right at the top of this mountain, guys. He's going to have sight lines from not only the players firing in right now, but you can see just to their south, that team that's firing into the box. So a couple people lining them up. Little marker comes out from AV. Recognizes there's a threat up above. That's the highest position anyone can be on right now. Do wonder, how did they get up there? It's Muzz and Avery with the wide rotate. Okay, so now down they come. Oh, Avery takes a lot of fall damage here. Slips through the build. Muzz targeted on the way down. That's a white tag.
That is a tough rotate to waterfall down protected at your back. I don't even know that I've seen players have to do that before, much less like you practiced enough to be able to do it. It's one of those awkward things that you've mentioned it. Fortnite puts you in new situations all the time. You never know what kind of game you're going to play. And Muzz and Avery got put in a new position right there.
300 damage above the surge for Rokane and Joji, but look at this. They're not stopping from putting pressure on the opponents nearby. That championship mentality, that winner's mentality to hunt for elims, to close the gap, to catch up to the top 6. They're still fighting for it. with every waking moment, with every opportunity that presents itself here. 0 elims for Clarity and Slacks as they continue to stay active as well. In the meantime, though, AV and NQs find that they have not done enough. This could be it. 12 players have to go down now.
They have nobody in their sights. Joji takes out Yuz right there. And AV's gonna have to hope to bait somebody to peek. They're shooting at this and just praying for some tags at this point because everything is covered up. All these players are just holding builds and now they're getting shot at themselves.
And honestly, you know, the play here is don't let any of these builds get comfortable, right? Once those heavy mats start to come out, you give it too much time, that's it. Their chances at elims are going to just slowly dwindle away here. And this is why AV has been keeping up the pressure on the players across the way there. That was Dubs and Mega to go down first. Creo ends up securing the elimination there. For Taco, this is so bad. 106 points. Holding on to top 6, below the surge here by 165, digging into what little heals he has left, and he has pulled half in and half out. Can he wait this out? Will he find some tags? Players are getting knocked, but those are not finishes. Team reveals himself in front of him into the box. It's a side little angle here, and they might have just gotten the tags that he needed. 3 damage above. There is no way that just happened. No way he is this lucky right now.
It may be luck for the moment, but I don't know if that'll continue.
He's back below now.
They've saved everything for this, and they just have to push in, getting tagged, getting pre-fired as the builds break. They do have a knock in there. Jackson's going to be able to get that. And once again, they have a breath. They're able to get above. That's on Glace. He goes down. Fabled Taco gets knocked, though. It's all up to Jackson. Our 6th place team has 50 HP as a solo, trying to make it through this final match.
Not only that, he got the shotgun shot right as the surge would have completely eliminated Taco. There was a small chance there, a slither of hope that he could have gotten the pick up there, but it's not going to be enough. Glace and Chucky managed to finish that one up, and now pressure is all on Jackson here as he has to finish this game out by himself there. AV and NQs slips their way on up. Another placement now. Top 7 here. 4 chug splashes. Almost out of complete material here. And ammunition. There goes the split. Okay, so at least he has some SMG to work with. NQs might have dropped a little too much there, though. Hopefully the split's going to come out afterwards. Oh, no. He's just got double AR. What am I talking about?
Yeah, he doesn't need that SMG ammo. We do see both 6 and 7, as bad as it looked at the time, somehow narrowly escape that storm surge and now live to fight another zone. But we do see zone pulling in their favor. Creo and Vert right on this wall, though. They know these guys are in these boxes. Gonna give it up after one quick little wall take attempt. Enkus and AV now make their rotate.
Here it is on high ground, though. Roque makes his way all the way across here. Has to be very careful. There's a zip line in play. That will destroy and bulldoze players right through your box. There goes the max cap off here. They want to have that high HP. I was just talking about it, and players are taking a zip line into the box. They go. Joji gets chunked in the meantime. Jackson still alive right now. Barely alive. 144 damage. Separates him from the safety. 10 players have to go down. There's an enemy in the box. He's gonna need it, but no, he gets taken out. And now 6th place could be up for grabs here. Rokane and Joji have a true opportunity now to go ahead and snipe that position, make their way to finals, not have to show up for a Sunday.
They're below on, or they're behind on the storm, though. They're on the backside, able to make it in zone with only a few mats remaining. So if zone pulls far, they're going to be in a poor spot, but it looks like it's going right towards Chonkers. They're going to be able to get this and just use some old builds. The refresh is necessary to extend, though. 8th place is not good enough. We see Dusky up above. They're trying to play for the win. It doesn't matter for them up at 11th. They want the dub or they're going home. And then so many players in this mid ground. They're only playing on about 4 or 5 layers here, Monster.
This is it. You have to get the Victory Royale or you are getting yourself sent back to the lobby and queued up for tomorrow, Sunday, for 6 full games. Teams that we know have made it probably all the way through here. Yep, I saw Beef and Nick. They've made another end game. I saw Bila and Knifer there. They're comfortable. 20 down to the low ground in 5th place, so has to be careful. They're probably going to need a little bit more, and he's going down right now to the Storm there. He just barely makes it in with a slither of HP. On your screen, though, Joji and Rokane still fighting their way through. 108 points. Slacks and Clarity trying to do their best as well. Avery falls in the backside of zone. His chances are up. That's Raps now. Dusky here on high ground. Can he get this victory royale? Was there still a chance for them to make it all the way in? They have 30 builds here onto user. That's not bad by any means, but that's still not the perfect spot to be in.
And we do see Goofy Goober still up, so he's stealing points away, which actually does help some of the lower teams make it up there. We did see 6 fall, so there is opportunity. Clarity and Slacks, one of those teams jumping in, have very few builds. Down goes Slacks. It's all up to Clarity. Can you clutch up and make a play here? He finds another duo that's not the door to knock on. He walks away. He finds himself alive still, and there's the drop play with the rotate. No, what a play. He gets a knock, but he needs to get in Storm.
This is huge right now. Clarity just made a ridiculous play with the truck here, and now he's fighting for the siphon. That's 3 points. 3 points that he's going to need here. Another solo behind the wall as well. These Freshwood builds are definitely the sight that he is looking for here. He wants to go right through this. He's looking for that knock. He does not find it. The player's to his side here. He didn't realize he jumped right across, and no, he goes down. It's to the hands of Joji. Joji was still alive there. Joji is still fighting for this. From 8th place on up to top 5 now. Joji is still clawing his way into this competition on high ground. Everything is breaking loose. Glace and Chucky are up here. Solo Dolo. Actually, there is no Glace. It's just Chucky. He's on high ground. He wants to win this. And it's looking like a near solo competition here. There are only one duo remaining here. There is only one duo.
And the one duo is going to go down soon. But Goofy Goober goes down. Joji has seemed to do enough, but now everyone else is still trying to make their plays. If he can win this, this opens another slot. Reciprocal down on the low ground. Big shots there by Joji. Now he's going to have to jump in. No, stopped with the wall. Big shots coming through once again. He gets the elim. There it is. Joji cleaning it up. Let's call it 5 for him. Now Baka up on the high ground, smacked. Jeff going in the mid-game ground. Head-to-head monster.
It's all solos right now. Joji here playing this low ground right now. He's just got a couple of builds to work with on high ground. Is still Chucky looking on in. Casker lurking on the layer in between that. He's starting to fire his way on down. Knock, knock. Here he comes. He slips on off the build. Jeff goes down, smacks over. Low ground peak here. 59, 31 tag. Low ground again. Joji only has 25 HP, 74 tag. He might have just did enough for Jeff to actually steal this way away. It's all going to come down to this last shot right here. Striker shotgun is not going to be enough. The low ground shots from Jeff managed to clutch it out in that end game. It's all ones though.
Solos for days in that end game. Everyone was trying to make their last play and go after it for the victory royale. I mean, you gotta respect that attempt by Baka, but ultimately Jeff able to hold down the low ground and just say, give me that, I'm going to finals.
Man, look at the shots right there. Jeff wraps up. Smacked, finds Joji, gets glazed, the 3-piece chicken nugget to close things out, rounding him up for a couple more eliminations there. Jeff and Plague, out of nowhere, jump way up to the top. Shout out to Fusion Jeff and Matrix Plague, man. Well played there, taking home a victory in the last stage there of the semifinals. What a day.
What a day indeed. I mean, every game was action-packed, and this last one, I mean, how many solos can you throw in a duo